Well, hi guys, welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka.
I am Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, we were cruising along for a third straight day. In fact, we had reclaimed that 22,400 mark as well. But towards the end of the session, we kind of fizzled out a bit, although we've managed to defend that 22,350 mark. But the big talking point today, Yatin, the India VIX index, that has crashed almost 20%, and it in fact went below that level of 10 as well.
Correct.
Have you spoken to market experts as to what it signifies? Do you think we could be at the cusp of another correction, or what does it really signify?
So it doesn't warrant a correction or up move, but the volatility in general for the markets will decrease. Extreme move on the Nifty, either on the downside, either on the upside, has to be ruled out typically when VIX is down.
Okay.
VIX is largely, a setup of the option premiums that you pay. And the moment it goes down, the premiums reduce, indicating that the market is no more expecting a big up move or a down move. So that is what it signifies. But yes, VIX going down means that the volatility in general would be slightly lower, than what the market earlier perceived.
Okay, so we are expected to stay in a range, is what it signifies. But let's take a look at the texture of the broader markets. Of course, both the Nifty mid and small cap indices were outperforming the benchmarks. Both the indices have gained in excess of 1%. If you look at the sectoral movers, realty was clearly standing tall today, 2.5% gain on that particular index. You had metals and pharma, they were under a spot of bother, but aside of that, most of the other sectors were in the green. Even the energy pack was a little out of energy today, so to say, given the fact that we had the likes of BPCL and Reliance Industries in the red. Aside of that, if you look at the Nifty Bank Index, it did manage to reclaim that 48,000 mark in intraday trade, and individually the movers on the Nifty, they were stocks like Grasim, Bharti Airtel, Nestle, Maruti, Tata Motors, HCL Tech. These are some of the gainers. On the flip side, pharma names were out of favor. So Sun Pharma, top Nifty laggard. BPCL, Reliance Industries had a down day as well. M&M, Hindalco, Dr. Reddy. So metals, pharma, energy, these are some of the pockets that didn't do all that well. But quite a few movers, in the broader end of the markets today. Of course, Tejas Networks, I think, was reacting to its earnings, Yatin.
Absolutely, and Tejas Networks, that is one stock which turned EBITDA positive as well as profitable. The reason why the stock was nearly up 20% in intraday trade indicates a robust, momentum, and this is a Tata Group company. Benefiting out of 4G, 5G network expansion. Apart from that, Nandita, Kochi Shipyard, Idea Cellular, BSC, all of these stocks also saw double-digit gains coming in. In fact, if you look at Vodafone Idea, that is one stock which has seen strong subscription numbers. Overall IPO subscribed by nearly 7 times, with the retail portion getting subscribed 1 time and the QIB book getting subscribed by nearly 20 times. So, after a strong demand which has come in for the FPO, a stock has gained momentum today. What didn't do well? M&M Finance, a fraud reported, and hence the stock was down. Sapphire as well as Sun Pharma were the other stocks which lost momentum in trade. In fact, ABB, Zomato, Elecon Engineering, IIFL, all of these stocks witnessing some bit of profit taking in trade today.
All right, of course, those were the movers and shakers in the broader end of the markets. But on that note, let's take a look at the stocks that are on our radar this afternoon. Starting with one of the stocks that Yatin just mentioned, M&M Finance. Of course, it was supposed to report its earnings, but that board meet on earnings has been deferred in the wake of a 150 crore rupee fraud that has been detected at its northeast branch. Now, the fraud involved forgery of KYC documents related to retail vehicle finance, and the KYC fraud led to misappropriation of company funds as well. And the expected financial impact of this fraud, of course, as said by the company, is somewhere around 150 crore rupees. Now, the fraud was detected during the January to March quarter, so it is expected to have a bearing on this quarter's numbers. And the detection was also followed by a few arrests that were made. The people who were involved in the fraud, some of them have been arrested, as reported by the company or as told by the company. The people involved include an area business manager and other employees of the branch in the northeast. The company has said that it has identified necessary corrective actions it has also reported the fraud to RBI's Central Fraud Monitoring Cell. The company will still consider a proposal such as increasing the aggregate borrowing limit as well as raising funds through NCDs in the board meet that was supposed to happen today. But of course, the board meet with respect to the earnings is something that has been postponed. Let's see what brokerages are saying about this fraud that was detected. Investec says that this could amount to near 15% of Q4 FY25 profit before tax and 6% of FY24 profit before tax. So basically for fourth quarter as well, and the overall FY24 profit before tax as well will be impacted. IIFL Securities has also said that the quantum of fraud seems to be large for one particular branch, for a single branch, and it expects growth to get impacted in the near term because the management will of course be focusing on tightening controls and implementing remedial measures as well. Shares are down of course 4% on a YTD basis. It has underperformed most of its peers so far this year, and in the third quarter also, Yatin, numbers are fairly good compared to the previous quarter, but a couple of quarters of weakness is something that the street had seen. So there were expectations of good numbers, but I think this will come as a spoil sport.
Absolutely, and the postponement of results along with this fraud detection is something which the market is not like. The stock tried to recover intraday, but I think it closed almost at the day's low. But Nandita, Vodafone Idea, and that is one stock which rallied almost 15% intraday. The future and option segment also saw some short covering. The most important part for Vodafone Idea is the fundraise, which got successfully concluded yesterday. 18,000 crore FPO fully subscribed. In fact, the overall subscription number was nearly 7 times the overall issue size. Now, the important part, obviously, Vodafone is spending most of the money that they have raised in the FPO to enhance the network capabilities to 4G and 5G. So basically, they are upgrading the network. According to CLSA, one of the companies which benefits from this entire Vodafone Idea FPO is Indus Towers. Why Indus Towers? Because according to a CLSA estimate, Vodafone Idea has planned nearly 48,000 network sites for 4G and 5G, and most of these sites will obviously increase tenancies or revenues for a company like Indus Tower, which is an exclusive partner for Vodafone's network. Now, if you look at the 24,000 additional tenancy, that will boost the calendar year 26 EBITDA growth to nearly 10% year on year, and CLSA has upgraded the stock to a buy with a target of 450 and revising the earlier target of 335. So not only the target moves up, but the rating also moves up for Indus Towers. Obviously, the stock has run up by nearly 150% in the last 12 months or so, but still CLSA believes that there could be some good upside for the stock of Indus Tower, especially when the dues of nearly 5,700 crores from Vodafone Idea are most likely to come back.
That's correct, and of course, we've had names like GQG as well participating in Vodafone's FPO, and of course, as Yatin mentioned, Indus Towers stands to gain here as well. But the other stock on my list today is Bajaj Finance. Bull versus bear case coming in here because we have a bearish call from UBS, which it has maintained right from January when it initiated a sell call with a target price of 6,800. It had at that point of time pointed out, that there could be higher competition from Jio Financial, and that could lead to a derating of the stock. And this morning as well, it came out with the same call, as in it has maintained the sell call with a target price of 6,800 rupees per share. It says that the potential Bajaj Housing Finance listing may not end up adding considerable value. The stock, I think, had run up, Yatin, once this news had broken on Moneycontrol itself that Bajaj Housing will be listed on the exchanges. So, but UBS is saying that that will not add too much value. And on a standalone business, on a standalone basis, if investors look at Bajaj Finance, the business profile would look weaker. Earnings profile would also look weaker with a high share of unsecured loans and with a lower FY24 to FY26 EPS CAGR of 17% vis-a-vis 19% consolidated. And of course, UBS has also pointed out that there could be a holdco discount as far as Bajaj Housing's market price goes. Of course, there is likely to be a board meet on Bajaj Housing's listing plans tomorrow. Of course, we will be watching out for when, or if there are any details about the listing timeline as well. But MK on the other hand has a bull case. It has a buy rating on the call. It has in fact initiated coverage with a buy rating, target price at 9,000 rupees a share, which implies a 23% upside. It has cited its flawless execution of strategic plans, also said that near-term challenges and concerns with respect to the RBI ban on 2 products, with respect to succession plans, with respect to this Bajaj housing IPO as well. All these things have been baked in, and challenges, according to MK, will get resolved over the next 1 year or so. And with its focus on its 3I strategy, which is invent, innovate and imitate, the company, according to MK, is well poised to deliver consolidated AUM CAGR of around 25% over FY24 to FY27. And MK has also pointed out that the recent correction in its valuation over the last 2 years offers a good entry point. So Bajaj Finance, all in all, a bull versus bear case emerging here. Of course, we saw the stock take a hit when Jio Financial also announced its plans, various plans, and but with the with the news around Bajaj Housing Finance IPO, we saw some recovery. But once again, investors will have to really sieve through these reports to understand what they need to do with the stock.
Absolutely, and the stock of Bajaj Finance almost 0.5% lower in trade today.
Well, those were all the stocks on our radar this afternoon. Of course, with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Closing Bell. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. And of course, come back and join us tomorrow morning on Opening Bell at 9 a.m. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned for all your other news and updates.